We're on. Boom!
Stop fluffing.
And like a breath of fresh air, Andrew has arrived. And lovely Louise.
Hello.
See? Just like that.
I'm wonky.
I know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that better for you, my
I
darling?
think so. Yes, thank you.
Good. How's everyone today? No introduction, just tried it, didn't work. Boof. Little Gremlin's in the works yet again, but that's fine. We're all here, present and correct. How is everyone doing today? Obviously, can you hear me? And obviously, can you hear?
Can you hear me?
Louise, good, excellent. Hello, everybody. Glad you could all join us today. It's been a couple of weeks again since we were here. Last Monday was a bank holiday, wasn't it?
It was.
It was a bank holiday. Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Yes, bank holiday last Monday. You click continue. That's
I
why.
know.
Last Monday.
Can I just close this?
Yeah. Get rid of Norton.
Go away, Norton.
Yes, good.
Thank
Last
you.
Monday was a bank holiday, and I know we've got another bank holiday coming up as well. Is that bank holiday next Monday, or
No,
is it the
is
Monday
not.
after?
I think it is the Monday after. Let me just double
It's the 25th,
check.
so it's 2 weeks today, isn't it?
I don't know where we are, to be honest with you.
It is.
26th.
26th.
Yeah.
Okay. 1926. Yes, so we're here next week, but we're not here the week after. Bank holiday yet again. Yes, lots of bank holidays. What's been happening, Lou? Anything? Oh, that's me.
Loads.
Good.
Really loads. Yeah. It's just been busy, isn't it?
It's been busy.
Good
Yes.
busy.
What have we been doing then? If you're saying we've been busy, what have we been doing?
Honestly, it's just been day-to-day stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
So, like managing the workshop and keeping on top of everything down there.
Yes.
But
it has been busy, not moments to ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
Apart from last weekend, where we had a lovely bank holiday.
We've been marking the diploma students' term 2 work, which is
Yep.
brilliant. They're all doing amazingly well. So we're going to finish that off in the next few days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you want to know what we're all about, we've got a jewellery diploma. It's called atthebenchacademy.com. Go there and have a look and see what that's all about. Yeah, term 2, we're on to term 3 now, coming on to this week. So that's all systems go with that. So if you want to know more about the Academy, atthebenchacademy.com. Also, for those who may be new here and who haven't done so already, we've got an At The Bench community. We've opened up a Facebook group. Just search for At The Bench Community. We've got about 1,100 members on there. We've got some amazing people. We've got Charles Luton Brain. We've got Nans Alland. We've got Kevin Potter,
Yeah.
to name a few. And some other big guys on there as well.
Lee is here. Lee Mossy. Yay, hi Lee.
Lee, you should be at work. Why are you watching this, Lee?
If you've seen our lives from Vicenza, or I think from London as well, Lee's been in our lives. He's our good friend in Plymouth.
Yes.
Hi Lee.
And he has been there. Yeah, we normally go over to Lee because he deals with the Puck, the Lampert PUK. And we normally do some films with him. Absolutely brilliant. Lovely chap. And his wife Louise as well. Good. Anything else we've been doing?
Yeah, lots, but I just really put on the spot and you can't think. I wish
Louise has been doing some lovely commissions as well. She's been making up some lovely pieces and experimenting with like a knot ring, wasn't it? You experimented with that. It came because a friend of yours was getting married and she wanted some bridesmaids presents. So you experimented with tying knots in wire. So you did that for her. You did something for yourself.
Yeah.
You put it on Facebook and you were flooded with commissions, weren't you?
Well, I had a few, flooded with inquiries, but I've had a few nice commissions.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
and I've since developed it into more of a double knot.
Yes.
And I've sent some things off for hallmarking, some commissions off for hallmarking last week, which should be back soon, which I'm really excited to have back now.
It's all good, isn't it? And then you've been melting down clients' gold as well to make into your knot rings. You did a nice 22 carat double knot ring as well. So yeah, it's all good, isn't it? It's all really good.
Keeping us very busy, it's great.
Yes.
Great.
Anything else? Been taking photographs today for my book that's due to the publishers in 6 weeks' time. So I'm absolutely
Pressure's on.
scared now.
Why are you scared?
I'm scared because you've got to proofread it.
I'm not scared.
No, I am. You're going to go, that times looks terrible, I can't say that, that's the wrong way, there's too many ands.
You write as you think and speak. So
Yes.
yeah, there probably will be a bit of editing.
Oh, I'm sure there will be a lot of editing.
Because there are times when you could be a little tad more concise.
Yes.
But then we can't remove any of the detail.
No, exactly.
So I think we need to sit down and do that together.
Yes.
So yeah.
So yeah, so we've been doing photographs for the book today. So that's all going well. I think they want about 250, 300 photographs in total. So that'll be, no pressure. That'll be really interesting. So yeah, so everyone knows I'm writing the book. I'm not telling you what it is yet, but it's got to be in the publishers towards the end of June. And then it's all systems go. And they estimate about 8 months from submission of the manuscript. So that should be beginning of next year, perhaps February, March of next year. It's going to be fun. On to my next one then.
Exciting.
On to my next one. Good. Excellent. We'll leave it there. Anything else we need to say, Louise, before we get cracking on with the Q&A?
No, I think we'll do some questions, shall we?
Should we have some questions?
Yeah.
It's Monday the 12th of May.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have got something to tell you, actually. Actually, no, I'll tell you in a bit because I'll get the information at first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm going to ask you for a question now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, crikey. Hang
So it's
on.
Monday the 12th of May. Time for our Q&A. 4 p.m.-ish. Louise, do we have a question, please?
No, I wasn't ready. I like what you've done with your hair, Louise. Oh, thank you, Mr. Recall.
Very good.
Okay. Did you have Mother's Day? Yes, and it was. No, it was back in March in Wales. We're different to America and Canada, aren't we?
Yes.
Good. Okay. I've got a question
Yes,
from Sandra. Do you use a steel pin for a brooch? If so, what do I need to know about soldering steel to silver? I've never made one, obviously.
Okay, so you wouldn't sort of solder steel to silver. The pin is usually, there are two ways of doing this. A lot of costume brooches have steel pins, and a lot of, I suppose, precious metal jewellery can have steel pins, but usually they are silver or they are gold. If it was a metal pin, the wire comes along and it does a bit of a loop and it does that. Yep. So that would be the pin. It has like a single loop, or it may have a double loop like that, or it could even come a bit further down here that way. Okay, and basically the rivet goes through here. This then rests upon the brooch, and you can open that up to give this a little bit of a spring. All right, that's one way. And usually when these are made, there's usually like a bit of a divot pushed in here, pushed in there. So the double strand, you get the double strand that does that, then it does that, then it does that. That will go in here and you squeeze them together, friction fit. Okay, so that's a steel pin.
Sandra said, I'd rather it be silver, but worried it wouldn't be strong enough.
Okay, so then what you have to do, usually then, a silver pin, you would have a tube and the silver wire would be soldered on top of that. So then you would have that, okay? Then that thing will go into, and then you can decide on whether you want a tube like that or a flag. So it will come down, there's your pin here, and then you've got like a flag coming down that does that with a hole in it. So those are the type of fittings that you would have with silver and with gold, depending upon the this bit here. Yep, the what's it called? Come on, what's this called? Can't remember. Anyway, it does that. So there's a hole through there. There's your hole through there. Hinge, U-piece. Can't remember. Brain's gone. So that then will fit through there. Now, as you're saying, you need to be able to make this metal hard. The easier thing to do would be to grab that in a pair of parallels, or normal pair of pliers, hold on to the end of the wire here, and just twist it. Perhaps twist it as a whole 360-degree twist or 180-degree twist. Okay?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? So that would be the way to harden it. Don't worry about trying to burnish it with the burnisher or put it into a barrel polisher. It's not going to harden it enough, but simply by twisting the round wire, you should be able to strengthen that strong enough. Simple as that. Another question.
Okay. Yes, I have another question. Kevin says, no, I've missed the question. Wait a minute. Yes, Kevin says, I'm looking for somebody reliable for 3D printing CAD designs. Can you help pointing me in the right direction?
To make up your CAD designs, yeah, Jack Mayer is a guy that you can look up. Jack Mayer, M-E, Mayer. No. Can you just look that? Is it CAD training skills? Mayer. I think it's jewellery CAD skills.
CAD jewellery skills, and it's Jack Mayer, M-E-Y-E-R.
Oh, there's no H, is there?
Should I post that?
Yes, please.
Link?
So, and what was it? Oh, Louise is going to put that. So a gentleman called Jack Mayer, he is an absolute whiz with CAD. He knows Rhino Gold, he knows Matrix, he knows 3 Design. He does training courses as well. I've done one of his courses for 6 weeks, really intense, but really, really good. Approach him, he will make up models for you, he'll make up the STLs for you. You pay him a certain amount up front, then you pay the balance then on completion. He will make several alterations. He did something very, very good for us. We sent him some drawings on a piece of paper. It's like a top view, side view, like an whatever it is view. See, the brain has gone today. I'm not quite sure what the problem with me is. So yeah, he will then use your design, you turn the stone sizes and so forth, and he will produce the STL file for you. You can look at the item, you can look at the revisions, you can suggest things back and forth, and then he will send you the STL file, so then you can send them to wherever you want to. We always recommend Dual Cast here in the UK. Brilliant, lovely bunch of people. If you do use Dual Cast for the first time, please mention us. It'll be absolutely brilliant, and it's always nice to know where these referrals come from. So Jack Mayer, jewellery training skills, CAD's training skills, CAD, jewellery skills. Yes, thank you, Louise. Good.
Good. Good. Kevin is saying, have you worked with Argentium? I've just bought some and would love to know if there are any differences and how I need to work with it.
Do you want to talk about this?
Well, yes, we did an Argentium workshop last year with Mark Easy Ward, who is a Argentium specialist, I would say. And she visited us here and filmed a workshop with us. It's 3 hours long, and it does say it's £15. But it's not, it's £25 now. So yeah, we have to change that. I'll put the link to it here. So if you're a member, you can watch it as part of your membership. If you're not a member, you can buy the workshop for £25. But it is more cost effective to be a member if you're interested in more than one workshop. Basically, the main things to remember are you need a separate flux.
Yes.
So you need the Argentium.
If you want to fuse.
If you want to fuse. So yeah, if you're fusing, which is the main benefit of one of the main benefits of using Argentium is that you can fuse it, and anti-tarnish, hypoallergenic, they're the main benefits of it. But the main limitation, I would say, is it just wants to slump. So there's a new recipe, there's a new alloy which is in use now, which apparently reduces that feature of it a little bit, but it still does just collapse. So if you overheat it, or if you heat it to the point of fusing it, it will just cave, fall apart. And the same if you try and...
If it isn't supported.
If it's unsupported. If it's supported, it's fine. If it's flat, it's fine. Otherwise, it just wants to collapse once it gets to a certain temperature, which unfortunately is the fusing temperature. What else was I going to say about it? And also, if you do try and pick it up too quickly after you've taken it to that temperature, it just falls apart again. So that's the main thing I would say.
But definitely look at the workshop, because it takes me. I was sat by the side of Marky. She went through the basics. We went through everything about the metal, the materials that you needed. We did some fusing. We did some granulation. We made a ring, fused a ring. We did a pendant.
Yeah.
And I'd never had any experience with Argentium before, and I really wasn't that fussed initially before playing with it, having a go with it. But sitting next to Marky DeWard and going through all the projects that she laid out in front of me, we've used it now several times here in our workshop because it's brilliant. You can fuse it, as you said. You can have 18 carat.
You don't have to fuse it, though. You can solder it. You can solder it with normal solder, or if you want it to keep its hypoallergenic properties, you can use. You must use Argentium solder.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, it's a brilliant workshop. Where did it say it was £15? Was it on the
actual page?
Show me. Can you show me?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it's gone now.
Yeah,
here. Yeah,
okay.
So that needs to be looked
So
at.
click on it to make sure it's 25. Do you mind?
Oh, if it's not, go and buy it now before he has a chance to change it.
No, it is £25.
No, it is £25.
So
Sorry.
I must go through that. Yes. Make a note, and we will sort that out.
Okay. It was something else I was
Good.
going to say.
Yes.
Oh, Amka said it's a brilliant workshop. I
Thank
highly
you, Amka.
recommend it. Oh, thank you. It's for me, it hasn't replaced 925 silver because there are benefits to both. The great thing about Argentium is you can use it in conjunction with 925. You haven't got to use one or the other, but obviously if you're using 925, the overall end product doesn't have the hypoallergenic properties of Argentium. But like I would use it, sometimes you're thinking of how you're going to approach a project, and you could. It really helps you out, the ability to fuse, doesn't
Yeah,
it? So if you're putting
absolutely.
embellishments onto something flat, being able to fuse means it's really clean. There's no solder to clean up. It's just like, for example, I made a pair of earrings in 925, and I wanted to put. I did like some wire wrapped around it as like a vine, and then I put little berries on. I put little clusters of berries on. And I thought, if I make these little granules now in Argentium and fuse the Argentium balls together in little clusters, I'll just solder on the cluster. And it was so easy then to just grab a little cluster and just solder it onto the...
Because they're already fused and they won't come undone.
Yeah, so things like that, really. It's like as you go along, you'll think of ways that that it really comes into its own.
Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Louise.
I love it, yeah,
Yes.
as you can tell.
Great.
Did you want to add anything to that, or are you happy with...
Nope. Yep. Happy with everything you said. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, good. Christine says, I have a very heavy 585 gold bracelet. The links are made of 2mm square wire. It has kind of a prison look to me. Oh, thinking of melting it a bit by bit to make embellishments. Would this be a mistake?
I don't think it'll be a mistake. Make sure it is 14 carat 585, and just take a little bit off, melt it, see how it goes. I can't really suggest anything else. Or sell it.
Yeah, are you confident that it's 585?
Yeah. Otherwise, you could sell it, get the money for selling it, and buy some 9 carat instead of using 14 carat. Perhaps we could work on it that way.
You could sell it as a
piece.
bangle, couldn't you? Or is it a bracelet
yeah.
rather than scrap? Couldn't you? If
Yes. And yes, this is the thing. If you're not sure it is 14 carat and you melt a little bit down, add it to something. If it isn't 14 carat, or even if it comes in less than 9 carat, you'll be spoiling the piece you're going to be soldering it onto. Back in the day, anybody could stamp anything on any piece of metal. So we get an awful lot in of silver that's stamped 925. I'll say silver. It is stamped 925, but it's not. It's a base metal. It's been heavily plated, and it is not silver. And sometimes you'll find that with some of these massive, big, heavy rings that are brass, that are gold plated and are stamped 18K. We've had so many, and we have like a spate of them every few years. Everyone comes in, and we bought this in the pub, and it's a really heavy brass ring, and it's 18 carat, so it says, but it's not. It's gold-plated brass.
another
so
one to
please
watch
be
out
careful.
with, yeah, is last week I had a chain in, and it was I think the recyclable value of it potentially would have been about £400 based on the weight, but I had a good look at it, and the chain ends were hallmarked. but they were a slightly different colour to the rest of the chain. And when I looked at it under magnification, the chain looked plated. It just didn't look right. It was like, obviously they'd been added, and it was, yeah, once you had a really good look at it, you could see that they were different metals, and maybe there was a bit, it looked like the plating was wearing off, and I don't think the chain, and I gave it to you and you were like, you agreed.
I'm not prepared to pay.
So yeah, it's like I'm not putting my money behind that. Because I'm not sure. So it's things like that to look out for as well, because we do see that from time to time is, chain ends and findings on the end of chains which are not right.
And there could be gold or silver, but the rest of the chain isn't.
Yeah, it could be bits and bobs just cobbled together, so it's just another thing to watch out for, really. I don't know, we've got onto this because we've had nothing to suggest that Christine's bracelet's not, not 14 carats.
Be careful. If it is, as what you're saying, if it is stamped, make sure that it is. That's all we're trying to say. That's all, because there's lots of things out there that are just.
Yeah, because if you are going to use it to melt it and make embellishments, and then if you're sending it to the hallmark, to the assay office for hallmarking in the UK, there's a chance. You already said that. Was I asleep then? Sorry.
Yeah.
Wasn't listening. Yeah, and have it. Yeah, I'd probably have it evaluated. If you're in the UK, definitely have it XRF tested if you can somewhere before doing that, because you don't want to be making things and then not able to sell them. I mean, they might just hallmark them as 9, which is fine, isn't it? I suppose if you're happy with that. Yeah. Good. So, Mr. Recall, is it bad form to use pop rivets or multiple layers where solder might be impractical?
No. It's just basically called cold connections. You can rivet things together. What did we do the other day? Oh, sorry, in one of our diploma projects, we were riveting copper to a silver frame and then brass behind. And we didn't want to use solder. We're teaching them how to drill to make rivets. Not necessarily pop rivets, but it's rivets.
What's a pop rivet?
It's... is it on that? No, it's not. It is a rivet that you put into a handheld device, and there's a rivet on the one end of the device. It goes through a drilled hole, and as you squeeze the trigger, it pulls the central steel out, and so forth, squashing the tube up, and then it snaps it off. It pops it off.
Do you need a special bit of equipment for that then?
Yes.
Ah, cool.
Basically, it's not for jewellery. It's more for metal. Putting 2 pieces of metal together with aluminium rivets, pop rivets.
But they can be used for jewellery, obviously.
I wouldn't know.
Why?
Because aluminium. And if you're using precious metals, you can't use
so if you hallmark
aluminium.
that, then there's implications there.
Yeah. But instead of pop rivets, just use normal rivets. Rivet over the end, mushroom it over, put it through, snip it off, file it, rivet over. Yes.
There's videos on riveting at the bench, is there?
There is. Go and check them out.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, a bit like a press set. Okay, thank you. I know what you mean, yeah. Cool. Good.
It's on you.
We haven't got any more questions for a minute.
Oh, what were we going to say? What were we going to show us? Or what we...
Oh, yeah, I got sidetracked again. Hang on. I was going to say, if I can find it, that our friend Kerry, Gemology Rocks Kerry, has got a new event coming up. There's 2, one in Maidstone, one in Cardiff, which I'd love to be able to go to because this is where we are, but we're not going to be able to get away from the workshop that day, I don't think. And Dartmouth in Devon, which is gorgeous, and it's basically phenomenal gems. So treat yourself to a day or weekend away, learning to. Oh, sorry, I wish I'd. Let me get the link up. I'm not really being very good. So yeah, there's 3 dates. Did you know garnets can change colour as if they were under a spell? Sapphires can hold a star, and chrysoberyl can transform into the eye of a cat. These are 3 examples of the wonders you'll discover. So basically, it's learning about phenomenal magical gemstones of scientific brilliance. And there's 3 dates available: Dartmouth, Cardiff, and what was the other one I said?
Cardiff, Dartmouth. I can't remember. I remember Dartmouth. I remember Cardiff.
And another one.
There's another one.
So hundreds of gemstones to handle and learn from. Expert tutor on hand. Carrie is absolutely amazing. She's my go-to, isn't she?
Yes.
Cake, tea, coffee, cordial, yeah. Tools and equipment, chance to meet and make friends. And you can actually shop for gemstones while you're there too.
Sounds like a brilliant day, doesn't it?
So yeah, there's 3 dates. So if you're thinking of having a weekend away, Dartmouth, Cardiff, Maidstone. And if you come to Cardiff, why not combine it with visiting us?
Come and see us, please do.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Joe says Dartmouth's not far from me. Maidstone, thank you, David. Yeah, that's someone's paying
where she
attention.
lives.
Yeah, we're obviously not. Let me put the link. I'll put the link up.
Yes.
Because I mean, any and all of Kerry's training is absolutely amazing.
It is. She makes it so fun,
memorable. Yeah,
and the fact there's cake as well. What's not to love?
Yeah. So there's the link there. Yeah, that was all I was going to say, really.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, the other thing that we did do when we were away last weekend, we bought a ring sizing machine back from the late 1800s. What do you meant to say? 1895, was it?
Yeah, my dad's done some research.
Your dad, sorry.
Yeah.
So 1895 we bought.
They share an email address, so it's
It
usually.
got me very confused. We had a ring sizing machine, a Victorian one. We picked it up in an antique shop over in towards Stratford, and it was it's been very lovingly used, isn't it? It's chipped, all the black paint's come off, all the highlighting gold has come off. It looks
like a jewellery tool in somebody's workshop, doesn't it? Because they use, like you say,
yeah, it's all used,
and it's over 100 years old.
It is doing very well. So we've given it to your father, who is now starting to strip it down.
Yeah, my dad is a retired metallurgist, an engineer, so he knows. I don't know how he knows, but that was his profession, and he's also a landscape and portrait artist, and he's done that virtually all his life as well. So yeah, he couldn't wait to restore it, really.
We've given it to him,
and
we found a restored one, haven't we? And that looks amazing with all the Greek key pattern on it. So we've given him, I don't know, a tough job actually.
I think
to
so.
try and reproduce exactly how it was, because part of the paint was still there.
He's spending a lot of time researching.
Part of the paint was still there, wasn't it? He could just sort of make it out, and he's going to strip it, he's going to repaint it, and he's going to put all the gold on it. It's going to be fabulous in the window when that's done.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, yeah.
It really is, yes. So yes, so stay tuned. So yes, if you're a member of the At The Bench community, I think we put it on there. We also put it on Instagram as well to show what ours looks like now and what the finished one should hopefully look like when Louise's dad has had a go. Good. Brilliant. Let's have another question, Lou. Any more questions?
No.
No.
So a lot of people, because a lot of people on our Facebook group were asking about my knot ring and wanted a tutorial on the knot ring. So is that going to be an At The Bench project?
We could do. We could do it, or we could make it into a workshop.
A knotty workshop?
A knotty workshop. We could do something like that, using shaped wire and making knots, bangles, rings, double knots, something like that.
That could be good, couldn't it?
I think you should do that one, because you've been making
them.
I think you should.
No.
I should hands up those people who want Louise to do a
No,
workshop.
I will assist you. I'll be your assistant. No, I don't. I know. No, nobody wants to see me attempt to present a workshop. You're the expert there. No. But thank you.
So yeah, Lee's asking, will we be at JCK? I don't think we will be at JCK in Las Vegas. We're trying to get to Canada in June, aren't we? So no, we're not going to be able to get to JCK, even though one year we will get to JCK, because that's going to be an amazing time. But we're trying to get to Canada in June, aren't we, sometime?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still looking at hotels. I just have to look at the hotel, see the price and go, that's a bit expensive, isn't it? But I want to tie it into going to see the Toronto Blue Jays, baseball, up to CN Tower, Niagara Falls, the usual touristy things, even though, anyway, yeah, so that's what I do. Fingers crossed.
You've started something now. No.
See, Louise.
I'll help you.
Really? Okay.
I watched the fold forming workshop the other day because I thought I'd have a little try at some fold forming, and I'm quite annoying.
Why are you annoying?
I don't know, just get in the way and talking too much.
Oh, I see.
So yeah.
What, at the workshop? No.
Another question. Good.
Yes, please. Give us a question.
David says, returning to an earlier question, what diameter silver would you use for a brooch pin?
1.1, 1.2 millimeter, I think. You don't want to go too thick, otherwise it's going to cause a big hole in the clothing or the coat that it's going through. And if it's a coat, you don't want anything too thick, otherwise they'll have a job trying to go through. Make sure you file a nice long tapered point to it as well. So yeah, I think 1.2, perhaps 1.5, maybe a little bit too big. I'm not too sure, but it depends upon the brooch and the amount of hardness. Obviously, the thicker the metal, the more rigid it's going to be. So I would err on a thick side as opposed to a thin side. But yes, something like 1.2, 1.5, I think should be enough for the brooch pin. Yes.
Good.
Yes. Maybe meet in Toronto. Yes, downtown
Absolutely.
Toronto. Yes, we're going to try and get to downtown Toronto. We are. I'm trying to look at the hotel that's right in front of the station, the train station, because I'm sure it was used in Home Alone.
Was it?
Yes. Can't remember the name of the hotel that's right in front of the train station, but that would be really good. That's not far from the CN Tower or from the Rogers Centre as well. So that's what we're planning on doing.
Do you know what's funny is I've got a picture here on my phone of you when you were in Toronto the first time. We were looking at them last night. I don't know how I can share it though.
I can do it on the overhead if you want. Yes. So this is when I was in Canada for the first time. This is me, obviously this one here, and this is my late mother. I think I had a pint of beer or a glass of beer. This is my uncle's rec room. This was the basement, and that was me. And I was, how old was I? 18.
Oh.
Yeah, 18.
Your curls.
You couldn't drink when you're outside because it was against the law.
Really?
Yes. So that was that.
What would happen to you?
You get arrested and put in prison.
What, you or your mum?
No, I don't. Obviously, I would be, wouldn't I? Because I would be the one who would be drinking. So that was me when I was 18. Yes. Very good.
Good.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Oh, Barbara said Royal York Hotel, all walking distance from that
That's
hotel. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is it possible to enamel onto sterling silver, or is fine silver a better choice?
You've been doing enameling, Louise?
I don't know an awful lot about it. I'm still in the experimental phases of it. I think fire scale is a risk, isn't it?
Yes.
So would fine silver be better?
Yes.
Because a lot of people have advised to surface deplete
Yes.
925.
Yes, just to get the fine layer.
To get the fine layer to the top, to prevent the fire scale. So it is possible to enamel onto sterling, but yeah, that's
Surface
I think
depletion.
that's the main consideration, isn't it? But so surface depletion is a series of heating and quenching. But by quenching we mean pickle.
Pickle, yes.
Um,
and that removes the copper from the surface of the metal.
so hopefully then you shouldn't get the fire scale.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I can't seem to get pink right at all.
Or pink enamel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of...
Experimenting. You've been torch firing, which I think is really, really hard, so we should use the kiln. You
Well,
can
if I
get to
could
the
get
kiln. You
to the
can
kiln.
get to the kiln now. There's no excuse. You can get to the kiln. We've taken a bench from upstairs, we put it downstairs, and that's
Yes.
our bench that we're going to be using for taking photographs of the book. And now we've removed another bench from in front of the kiln to the centre of the room. Now you've got plenty of space, Louise. There's no excuse now. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Barbara says you won't recognise the city from that era.
No,
Oh, wow.
it was a long time ago when I was there, but I was there with two of my kids. Was that 6 years ago, 7 years ago, wasn't it? So yeah, taking Louise over there really need. Also, the reason why we're going is that my auntie is over in Canada, and my couple of cousins are over there as well. So I want Louise to meet My auntie, because she's getting old now. Yeah, so that's what I
Your
want to do.
mum's sister, isn't
My
it?
mother's sister, yeah, mother's half sister, yeah. Yes, good, excellent.
Okay. Can't believe you still have the same phone as when you were 18, Andrew. Lynn says, yes, you can. You can enamel sterling and depletion is also good. Yeah. Cool. Pat says we use Britannia silver at college for enameling.
Okay, yes.
Kevin says, I have some scrap sterling. I'll be adding some fine silver too. If the resultant alloy works out to be finer than 925, say 94% fine, would I still be able to assay as sterling? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, because it always goes down to the next.
Because that
finesse.
is the, unless it's
950.
Yeah.
Whatever it would be, yes. Not 950, because that's Argentium.
940 is Argentium, isn't it?
940, so 950 is Britannia.
Yeah.
Yes. So if it's above, the thing is, if you have to state what you want assayed on the piece. So say you want it assayed at 925, and it works out at, as you say, 940, it'll always be hallmarked at the next lower finesse. But if it is slightly higher and there's a finesse, so say for instance you have 925, okay, and Britannia's 950, okay, so say you submit at 925, but you've added fine silver to the 925 that puts it over the 950, and it comes in at perhaps 952, they will give you a call and say, the piece that you've got is say 952, do you want us to hallmark it at 950, or do you still want to hallmark it at 925? So I'm sure they would give you the option, because that would be the next finesse down from 952. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Lynn says, get a Japanese pink from metal clay. Oh, I'll check that out. David said, all the red enamels need a clear flux enamel first because the red silver reacts with the red. Kathy said, I've heard that pinks, red and orange enamels are silver reactive, i.e. the colours will be negatively impacted and turn brown. You have to cover with special flux before using. That's interesting, because this is the problem I'm having with the baby pink, is it's just going yellowish. So it's yellowy on it's a little hydrangea I'm trying to enamel. It's going yellowy on the tips, and then if any little bit kind of goes on the back, it's like pure yellow. But I've tried a base coat of just clear flux, and then the pink on the top of that, and it just still goes yellow. So I shall check out this special flux.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool, thank you. I would use either a blue flux or a very pale green under it. Ah, okay. So if I'm using it's an opaque baby pink, would I just put this is Q&A for me now, sorry. I guess it's just experiments, isn't it?
Yes.
Cool, okay, because I tried surface depleting, I tried not surface depleting, I tried clear flux, and I just got this horrible yellow every time.
We are trying to get someone to do enameling workshop, aren't we?
Yes.
We have to.
And I desperately need some help with my enameling, so yeah, that would be amazing.
You can sit by here.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah. I can't do the workshop, but yeah, I'd happily do the work.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe keep temperature down a little. Okay, cool. Thank you. Good. Barbara says, speaking of fire scale, I've heard different opinions on how to remove it. Is it possible? And if so, what techniques would you use?
So, yes, you can surface deplete it. So you can heat up, quench it in pickle, acid, heat up, acid, and that way then you will remove the copper from the surface.
Does that remove fire scale?
No.
Oh.
Because the fire scale is still there.
Okay.
If it's under the silver. So that is one way that in theory you could do it, but by the time you polish the piece, you polish through that fine silver, so you're back through to the fire scale. Send it off to a silver plating company and they will plate it with silver so it hides the fire scale. But when you go then to perhaps repolish it, whether it would be with a cloth or whether it be with a mop, you're back through to the fire scale. So you have to remove it. So the only way to remove it is with either a file and I'm looking at these, I've got 1 bar left on that, so I have to keep an eye on that. The either with a file to remove that very fine layer of fire scale, or just with a buff stick to remove it. It's really difficult to tell whether you've removed it all, because you have to file it and buff it and then polish it, and then by the time you've polished it, you should then have to be able to see where the greyish, purpley, clouded areas of fire scale still remains. You can also put it on a white background and have the white reflection, and the fire scale will really show up. Then you've got to go back, and file where you can see that bluish hue upon the piece, purplish hue. Then you've got to polish it and see. So there's no quick fix, but then prevention is better than a cure. Yes?
Oh no, sorry. I was going to say I love the E-Flex, the coarse E-Flex discs for removing fire scale.
Yes.
But they don't work great on a flat surface because you might end up with undulations.
Yeah.
But they're great if you've got something, like I made a big ruffled calf in silver, and I'd done so much annealing to get the ruffles in, and I thought I'd done a good job, and I satinised it, and I wore it out feeling like I was everybody, and I looked at it in the sun and I was like, oh, so it was more fire scale than anything else.
You couldn't
so
see
I've got to resurface it really, like completely.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway,
Yes.
what was I going to say? But yeah, the blue and the black, the blue ones I think are the most coarse.
Yes.
And I use them a lot.
Yes,
and it would be
E-Flex.
great for something which is already undulated, because
You've got to keep the mop moving, the
Yes.
little brush moving.
yeah,
See?
but they're good. Oh,
Yes, E-Flex.
okay. Did you?
Oh, there we go. So someone's gone. Have I gone or have you
I
gone?
think it's me. It's me.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying something really clever as well.
There's 2 batteries over there in that little clear pouch. Give me another 2, because I'll replace these 2
This
as
one?
well here. Yes. Thank you. Good, good. Excellent. Can I put them, give them back to you, please? Lovely.
Good. Okay, we can still hear you through Andrew's mic. That's okay then.
Or, as I was saying, prevention is better than a cure. Protect the surface when you're heating it up. Protect it with a flux. Prevent it with, prevent it. Put flux on the surface. Use magic boric on the surface, or anything that will protect the surface so you don't get it in the first place. Then you don't have to worry about fire scale. So yeah, protect it. You'll get a little bit maybe, then you've only got a small amount to remove. Yes. Yes, Lou.
Okay, good.
Ooh, someone's still off. Are you still off or no?
No.
We're all right. We're all right. Good. Good. Excellent.
David says, when you go to Eastern Canada and Montreal, there is a shop that specialises in Baltic amber. Ooh, spent too long in there but got on with the owner very well. Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
Trevor says, is there a difference between fire scale and fire stain?
There is, and it keeps eluding me what it is. The stain, I think, goes further into the piece.
I think what we
The
call fire scale is
scale-
actually fire stain, isn't it? But
Yes.
a lot of people just use the terms interchangeably, and perhaps we
Yes.
shouldn't, but we do.
I
Yeah.
think one goes deeper than the other. Yes.
Somebody once said fire scale is removed by pickling and fire stain is sent. I don't know whether that's...
Okay. Interesting. Yes, but there is a difference. Yeah. Look up on Google.
Yeah. It's basically marks you don't want on your silver, isn't it?
Yeah, regardless
It's-
whether it's fire scale or
Yeah.
fire stain, you
But yeah.
do not want it.
Because I got corrected, didn't I, on a post a little while ago.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say things wrong, obviously, or
No, of course not. Yeah.
yeah. But it's so disappointing, isn't it, when you finish something and you feel really good about it, and then you put it in the light box
And you
to
can
take a
see.
picture, or you take it out in the sun and you're like, oh. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it says here, fire stain is a layer of oxides that is visible on the surface of objects made of metal alloys containing copper, where the object is heated as by a jeweler heating a ring to apply solder during a repair. There we go.
Good.
That's Wikipedia for you. Good. Excellent. Yes, Lou.
Good. Okay.
On to you. Anything?
Nothing at the minute?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Okay. Anything you want to say then, Louise?
Do you know what I struggle with? And this is going to be, this is something which should be quite straightforward and easy.
Yeah.
But do you know, and this, I do it, but it just seems to take me so long and lots of faffing, is when you've got a pendant, and I do a lot of hearts, don't I, so like that.
Yeah.
And to hang it, you say don't put a full jump ring on it because you think it doesn't look very finessed.
Yes.
So I take half a jump ring, and I try and shape the ends to kind of contour it to whatever I'm soldering it to. But it just, I'm very khaki-handed, and I can't. You do that. You've got this, and you've got something here, and then you warm it, and then you bring the thing in, and then you just plonk it exactly where it needs to be, and I can't do that.
Okay.
So what can we do to?
So you've done a.
Say I've got that, for example.
You've done a heart, haven't you? Like a wire frame.
Yeah.
And you want to solder on a little link like that up on the top.
Yes.
Like that there.
Yeah. And I know how to do it, and I know all of the theory behind it, and I know to, like I say, shape and contour the half jump ring, and I know to sweat solder it onto the, but it's just the actual physical putting it together.
Okay, so what do you sweat solder? Do you sweat solder the jump ring,
Yes.
or do you sweat solder the little bits?
The jump ring.
Okay. Perhaps sweat solder, perhaps put a little bit of solder on the insides there instead, perhaps.
What about, Mike's just given me an idea now, because Mike's got a question, wire solder versus solder paste?
Yeah.
Could I use a bit of solder paste to, please? Not just to tack it on?
No, you can do if you want to. I'm sure we bought some for you ages ago.
I haven't used
it.
it.
Dried up. Must probably done that now. So
why don't you like solder paste?
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
Basically, the fumes that are given off are dangerous.
Okay.
So that's why.
Well, that's good enough reason, isn't it?
Yeah, I would never use it. The fumes, when you put the flame on it, and you breathe it in, and it kills you. Not physically kills you, but it's not good for you. So something that I would never use solder paste because the fumes that come off it.
Okay.
It's no good. It'd be the only time I would use a solder paste is if I'm soldering small little jump rings.
Okay, so don't worry about my question. I'm going on to Mike's with wire solder versus solder paste, pros and cons.
Okay, so what I would do with your case,
Okay.
I would put that on a board. I would put the flame on here. I would bring the jump ring into place.
Okay.
Heat up here, heat up here, heat up here, and then as soon as this solder then that you sweat soldered onto the heart starts to melt, just push the jump ring down into place, and because the jump ring's in contact with there, it'll heat up and it'll solder.
The problem was I wanted it on the inside, and my heart was quite thick, so I couldn't lay it on the block because it would have been too far back. I needed it in the middle of that.
So perhaps use a packing piece, perhaps use a piece of titanium strip on the inside, something like that, or something that you would put, perhaps a piece of copper. That
you just saw the titanium strips.
That you would just rest a bit of copper like that.
Okay.
But then that's going to take some of the heat, so you've got to heat this up a bit more to allow for that to go.
That's okay, because, you don't want the jump ring overheating anyway, do you?
No. So why would I use actual physical solder?
Wire solder versus...
There's nothing wrong with solder paste, provided you use it...
Why are you shouting?
Sorry. There's nothing wrong with solder paste. It's solder paste adjustable throw frames. Basically, the flux that is in with the solder paste, I find, is dangerous. You've got to have extraction for using things like that, because I'm not quite sure what flux they use, but really is dangerous. So always use extraction if you use solder paste. Solder paste is great for small little things like jump rings, because the solder tends to be quite porous because it's got the flux in it. If you try and use solder paste on a ring shank or to solder a bangle, you've got a lot of area, and there's a good chance that you're going to get porosity in the solder. So your joint will have little air bubbles in it, which is no good. It is not made for soldering large, wide areas. So never use never use it for big areas. It's great if you're just coming along with little bits of jump rings to solder, not a problem. And I guess I would use it in that case. Sorry, Louise.
Calm down.
Simple as that. That's the reason why I would never. Plus, the problem with solder paste is it's in a syringe. It will dry out if you don't use it. And if it dries out, you can't really rehydrate it. So you basically just got to scrap it, which I think is a hell of a waste. Strip solder is much better. It's cleaner. You can cut off exactly what you want. If it's too thick, hammer it, put it through the rolling mill, make it thinner. You can cut off what you want. Far easier, far better. That's my reason.
I find it too thick to cut. I think it's.
That's why you rolled it down today.
I rolled it down. If it's just cuts. You can shear through it like butter then. So if you haven't got a rolling mill and you don't want to hammer it, if you order your solder from the store, I put a little note in comments. Say you want it thinned out, pre-thinned, and I can do that for you.
Yeah, no problem.
Free of charge.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, the thinning out is free, not the solder. Yeah, but it does make life so much easier.
It does. Yes. Yes, someone says weld it with a puck. Yes, you can do.
Yeah, Lee said, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just tack it. Yeah, sometimes you can just tack it in place and then come along and solder it.
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Yeah, that's a good idea. Cool. Janet's feeling very pleased with herself. On my recent UK trip, I bought a bottle of liquid flux. Despite its warning about being hazardous and security, I got it passed in old luggage, which is much easier to use.
Oh, well done.
Good. Mike says solder paste can be hit or miss with embellishments. Some areas might not be mixed as well as others areas of the paste.
Interesting.
Sandra says, what is the reason for sweat soldering onto the heart and not the ends of the partial jump ring?
Louise has tried sweat soldering onto the jump ring and it hasn't worked. So that's the reason why I suggested going the other way. I think if you try and sweat solder onto the jump ring and try and sweat solder onto here, there's a chance that perhaps the solder will flow and it will flow too much onto the actual, because bearing in mind this jump ring is about 2 millimeters. So there's more chance you're going to disfigure that jump ring with a large amount of solder. So perhaps put some solder on the inside edge of the heart here, so when you push the jump ring down, the solder will flow from the heart onto the jump ring. So basically it would sort of do that, which then would be nice and neat. The solder's not going to flow. If you sweat soldered the jump ring first, you're going to have all solder all over here where it's flowed, and you've only got then this very small contact area with the heart, and there's a chance then that this then is going to flow onto the heart, not a problem, but it's still going to be slightly disfigured around on there. So that's the reason why I would put onto the heart and not the jump ring. Yeah.
Okay, I will try that, thank you.
You're welcome.
Amco is saying, how about solder powder? Have you ever used that?
I haven't used solder powder. I think you can use solder powder when it comes to filigree, because that would be the ideal medium for using solder powder. But apart from that, I haven't used it at all. No, don't know anything more, I'm afraid, Amco. Sorry. Yes, Lou.
Good. Yeah. Any tricks to soldering a thick bezel 18 gauge to the radius contour of a ring?
So, do you mean a bezel and then solder that directly onto a ring? Lots of things you can think about here. Does the stone fit all the way through, basically? If it does, this should in theory have some sort of step or a back plate to stop the stone from going all the way through. So the cross section through the bezel may look like that, and your stone then would fit all the way through. You've got to either have a back plate or put a back plate so the stone would sit on, it's a very deep cabochon that, so the stone would sit on the back plate, or you could just cut away the back plate and just leave a bit of a ledge for that stone to sit on. If you did that, great, you can simply solder that onto a ring, not a problem. You do have these little bit of gaps here, so perhaps what I would do is make a little bit of a U shape on the bottom of there, so when you solder it up onto the ring, it fits nicely onto there. You can have bezel wire, so the wire is that shape, so the stone sits up onto the shank. I think in all these cases, to make a really good, and I would say a professional, a professional finish, the curvature of the ring really should then sort of go into the bezel like that. So if you did have a back plate on the back, on the bottom of the bezel, I would make it thick enough to be able to do a filed shape out of it, so then the ring then will sit on that way, like that.
18 gauge is 1.2 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do basically. Even if you then will come along and burr a little wall out like this for the stone to sit on, I would always try and file the bottom of the bezel. So the bezel would look something like that. Perhaps not as deep as that, but the bottom of here should match the contour of the ring. That will look far better. Or if you didn't want to do that and you had the bezel with a complete flat, when you come to have the ring, try and file a flat on top of the ring like that. And if this has a back plate, that will fit directly on top then of your filed bit of shank. You could even have that without a back plate. So yeah, I would always try and get it, otherwise it's not going to look right. Always try and have some sort of filing going on so the bezel sits onto the shank with a lot of surface area and not just a little bit on either side. So those are different ways that you can do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Louise.
Okay, Sandra says, does solder harden when thinning it through the rolling mill? Does that change whether it's easy, medium or hard?
It will work harden it, but by the time you've heated it up and it melts, it'll make no difference at all.
Because it relates to the melting temperature, doesn't it? Not the physical hardness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I thin it out a lot.
Yeah. But no, you should be fine with it.
You could probably cut it with scissors, the amount I thin it out. And
Yes,
obviously
you
need big pieces then, because it's so thin. So you need a bigger, obviously.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
I would sort of put a bit more, or put some flux on that piece when you start to melt it, so it'll melt down easier. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it works for me anyway. But then I can't solder a jump ring to a heart. So
Yes, you can. You did it earlier on.
You know that I did it earlier on, but you know, like days where you just think, why can I not do this when I know I've done it before many times, and today I can't do it.
These things happen.
Yeah, it's just, and then you question yourself
I'm
and
no
everything,
good.
and I'm
The
rubbish,
soldering
and why am
gods
I
are not
even
with
doing
me.
this? Yeah. Here we are. It's sad, isn't it? I might be able to do it tomorrow. Try again then.
Yeah. Right.
Good. David says, my hands dither, so soldering on ear posts is difficult. I drop the post down a tube when the solder melts. How do others do it?
I think a good way is to make a little bit of a divot on the back of the earring. So when you bring the post down, the post will locate in the little divot. So that would be a great way of doing it, won't it?
Yeah, I sweat solder the solder onto the end of the post, but I just lay it on the block and put the pallion of solder literally just touching partially underneath the end, and it sweats onto that.
Yes. So there's your block. There's your post. I'll switch it onto my.
And I have it flat. I don't even touch it. I just have it like. Is that wrong?
How do what?
I don't have it upright. I just have it flat, and I put the pallion
On the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Is that wrong?
No.
But so I don't even have to hold it like that. I just have it like that, and then I have the pally, and then I warm it up, and it sticks to the bottom. It sweats onto the bottom.
You would have the post lying down and put a bit of pally in by here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you have if that's the challenge is holding them, then just don't hold it. Have it like that, and then put it in your third hand. I suppose you can only put it in your third hand if what you've got you can put face down on your block.
Yes.
Or use 2 third hands.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing a hoop, you can't put that on your block, can you? But if you put it in a third hand and then get another third hand and set it all up, and then you've just got to heat it. Sorry, I've taken over the question of Michael.
No, it's fine. Absolutely fine. No. So yes, so either lay the post on top of a little bit of solder, heat up here so the solder melts onto the end of the post, or hold that in a pair of tweezers on top of a piece of solder, heat up this area, it melts onto the end, and then when you're soldering onto a sheet of metal, make a divot with a little ball burr, so when you come to solder your post into it, the end will just locate into there. Also, this gives a greater surface area as well of solder, so that's a better way of soldering it rather than soldering it straight onto an earring, because that goes in.
I like how you wrote Louise's way. Not my way, I don't do it like that.
Not my way, no, Louise's way. This is my way.
Louise's strange way. Oh, Sandra does it like that as well, so.
Sandra
and Louise's way.
And Louise's way. There we go. Good. All right. Right, but we're going to go. Now, one thing I want you to, if anybody's interested, and it's collection only, nobody wanted my tin. We got rid of a bench. We have a jeweller's tin for sale.
Look at the state of it. Sorry.
All right. Do you know what?
Are you trying to sell it?
It's free now, okay? So this is the jeweller's tin. I think that's been made to go on the bottom. It's a jeweller's tin. That goes underneath your bench. Place to put your pliers over here. Yeah. There you go. Okay, your pliers go on. Your pliers go on. You get all your lemel into the bottom. It is coming apart on the side by here, but by the time you screw that onto your bench, it'll be fine. And it has been fine for about 15, 20 years. If anybody wants a bench tin, you can have it for free, but either you've got to arrange collection or you've got to come and visit us to pick it up, and you can have that for free. Simple as that. Just let anybody know. And if you're interested, just get in contact with us. But yeah, I was trying to sell it for 15 quid, but nobody wants it.
Well, it functions, doesn't it? It
exactly,
does
it functions. It may not look, when it's fastened onto a bench, it's perfect. Nothing wrong with it. It does its job. You put your pliers on it. It collects your lemel. There's a lip on the front to just come out. You can sweep your lemel into it, and it's brilliant. There's nothing wrong with it apart from it's just coming apart on the top. But as I said, by the time you fix it onto your bench, it doesn't matter.
I do love that little filter underneath. I think that's really good because mine hasn't got that.
No.
And my tray, I literally just have to physically clean it and brush it. And
brush it out, yeah. So yeah, if anybody wants it, message us. You've got to come and collect it or get someone to come and collect it. So that's entirely up to you. It's free if you want it. If not, it's going to go in the bin. Simple as that.
Oh,
I don't want to throw it.
Should go to the refiners actually.
I don't want to throw it away because it's too good to throw away because it still functions, it still works.
There's actually about £1.50 of metal still in there, isn't there? So you depending on how far you've got to come.
Yeah.
Will you sign it, Andrew?
I can do whatever you want.
How old is it?
It's got to be 20 years old, perhaps. I'm not quite sure where it came from, but yeah, it's about 20 years old.
It's got its little, what are they called? Racks there for your pliers as well,
just showed that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. That is actually.
Yeah. It's even got some pictures stuck onto it where somebody was, I'm not quite sure who it was actually going to make a pair of earrings, and they wanted a reference. They stuck the things on there. Oh. Anyway, anybody wants that, then you can have it. You just got to come and collect it, and I'll sign it. I'll do whatever you want for it.
Mike said, then sell it for $100.
Exactly. Right, everyone, let's go. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. We'll let you know if anything's happening. There are lots of things happening behind the scenes, and when we're ready, we'll tell you about them. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. Anything you want to say, Louise, before we go?
I don't think so. Check out Gemology Rocks' fabulous new day courses.
Yes.
Yep, they're lots of fun. That's all I wanted to say, really.
Yep, and also join the At The Bench community on
Oh,
Facebook.
yes.
Go and search for that. If anybody's interested in our diploma, go to atthebenchacademy.com or just message Louise at andrewberry.co.uk and you can be told more about that. We're going to have a Zoomed open day, so to speak, open evening, where we're going to talk all about that. That's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Anything else, Lynn?
No.
Good. Say goodbye then.
Goodbye then.
Everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of the week. Come on, say goodbye again, Louise. Go on.
Goodbye.
Everyone, just fancy doing it again. Just give you a chance to say goodbye. Say goodbye again, Louise.
Goodbye.
Everyone, take care. See you soon. Bye-bye. Good.